Okay, today we are going to be working on a white paper. A white paper is something that is used when a contractor has a product or service that's maybe new to the government, or a real dramatic change to a product or service that's pre-existing, but this change makes it much, much better, more efficient, helps it go green, uses less fuel, and it makes it better in general. Or, again, it's a brand new idea that the government doesn't know exists. So most white papers are the latter. They're ideas that the government doesn't even know exist at this point, and we use the white paper to notify them, to let them know that it exists. In many ways, a white paper is like a proposal in the format and the information that you're going to be putting into it. And in many ways, it's not like a proposal because there are certain things that are not required in a white paper. For someone who, there's two types of clients that I deal with. There's clients that want to try and do everything on their own. And there's clients that are to the point where they're just like, look, I want you to do it. And, I've tried it on my own and I'm over it. I want you to do it. So I'm going to show you the approach for both. We're going to start with doing it on your own. Okay. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands of sample white papers on Google that can be viewed any day just simply by going to Google and searching white paper. And you can either click template or you can just click white paper and then go to images right here.
I was typing in white page, and that's why I'm like, I can't find anything.
Yeah, that's some purchases do call them white pages, but usually when you do that, you're going to wind up going into the yellow pages.
That's what I was getting. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh man, I need his help.
And we're not loading the images real quick here. What's going on? Okay, let's try paper examples. Maybe just white paper was bringing too many results. There we go. Okay. So these are white papers that businesses have written. Hootsuite is a company that provides some type of social media marketing or social media services. This is probably their white paper they wrote originally when they were trying to get their product out there in front of people.
Right.
We can actually make this a little bigger. Cloud lock, sample white papers. So there's literally tens of thousands of examples out here. And in addition to that, you can also, from going from white pages images to white pages videos, some of these companies sell services that you can put your information in and it writes your white paper. There's always going to be people on YouTube, giving step-by-step instructions on how to write a white paper. The problem with going this route is that sometimes they're going to give you just enough information to get you interested, to get you on board, but the bottom line is they're selling something. Unless you buy what they're selling, they're not going to give you the complete solution to the white paper. Or they're going to make you download something in order to access the file, and then that download is some program that's going to run on your browser, or it's a pop-up or whatever it is. So on the free side, there are plenty of options, just a matter of finding the right one.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I want to write it and then know how we get it in front of them, because with the uniqueness of what I do, as you've seen, there's no like real government contract offers right now, but I would love for the government or these companies themselves to look at it and go, we need this.
Yes, yes. And I don't know your take on this, but I wanted to ask you, getting it in front of contractors who already provide these types of services and selling it to them as a subcontractor is another option. If that's something you're interested in.
I'm interested in anything. I mean, I've been plugging at this. 25 years I'm reporting credit and background, but now with the background monitoring, it's a newer niche. The financial markets were the first because they're regulated and they need it. But now, I'm looking at, the government entities and saying, okay, with all the awareness and wants that they have, and I'm even looking at this,
right.
the FedBiz site, and there's all these companies, but there's really no, say, vet of those companies, even though they're, certified through Dun & Bradstreet, let's say. It's still, who's going against them to say, do they have any negative activities that should concern or have them off of that FedBiz Gov? So, I'd love to combine with you and even partner in a sense if we could get it where every company on there had to pay, $79 a year, but they're monitored for 12 months. So if there's any new occurrences, somebody gets to know, hey, should we be concerned or ignore?
Exactly.
And
yeah,
that would be
perfect sense. And the monitoring that Dun & Bradstreet does is completely different from what you're doing.
Yeah, because Dun & Bradstreet, it's more of a voluntary info of like, how many people you have, your business, they're not really diving into that background of the company.
Exactly. Let me do this. Let's cover our services so you know both options. And, of course, you know who I am. Worked with you on a few trainings, I believe, already, if I remember correctly. Almost 12,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've got recommendations on LinkedIn for people who I've written proposals for, and, I know what I'm doing. So when it comes to actually physically writing a white paper for you, I can do that. It does require, of course, a lot of correspondence between you and I. That's the one misconclusion people get with both proposals and white papers or white pages. They think that, well, I just hand him this book and he'll hand me a written proposal. And it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of communication between you and I back and forth, and there's some documents that I physically can't write for you because I just don't know enough about your product and know enough to have the passion, and of course your pricing and other things I don't know. Having said that, if you need me to write the white paper for you, the first thing I would do is put together an outline of everything that's involved in the white paper, all the documents we're going to need. I tend to go a little above the call of duty when it comes to writing white papers, because I want to also make the purchasing agent understand that not only is this out there, but you can provide it, and you are a very secure source. You're not going anywhere. You've been in business for a while. We can show profit loss statements showing you've been profitable, things like that, that not only let them know this is the new wave, this is the new product, but it's backed by a company who can supply, who can come through.
Right. Yeah, and I don't mind doing the work. It was just I'm telling you, that was that first lunkhead thing, is that I kept going, write a white page. How do I? And it was a white paper, and it made a difference. If I could see samples, you're right. I'll follow samples. I'll make it snazzy, and I understand. I show it to you. You say, Vic, this is great, or Vic, you got to change this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's important.
Check
and then
once you've written the white paper and you're ready, and I'll review it for you and make sure you're on the right page, and you're ready to get it out there, then we can help you with press releases. One of the things we do here for our clients is press releases to the government. And our press releases, unlike most press release companies, send it out to internet marketing companies that just send it out there like spam almost. Or they use a program that just sends out thousands of emails a day, and that's not how we operate. We actually communicate with purchasing agents. We send it out to purchasing agents who are the guys that you want to get in front of. So once you're ready, you and I can work on getting you set up with the press releases to get it out there. All right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. And then in addition to bigger picture, and I mean, tell me if I'm off kilter, but do you feel there's a way where, I don't care if we even, created something, because again, I understand, I look at it and I go, okay, I paid them $1,900, but how much are you going to do for that $1,900? So it's like something where if it's something very viable, to where we both derive a financial benefit, I'm good with it. It's just like, who is in charge of that FedBiz Gov's op site that says, hey, do they care, the companies that are listed on there, or do they not care? Because I just think it's a windfall with the number of companies on there, and if I, as a company, they said, look, it's a government requirement that we monitor the background of your company. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars a year, and for this nominal fee, it just gives everybody peace of mind that your company is, free of any criminal activities, you know, I don't know if they care about bankruptcy judgments, liens, or not, but they may want to know because I think the worst thing is
it depends on the level of clearance and the level of security at whatever involvement is being done. So let's say, for example, it's a janitorial company doing janitorial work at a VA.
right.
There's an initial background check, of course, but there's no monitoring of the background check. And the requirement said, depending on what area of the VA they're at, if they're just doing garbage cans outside, it's different from if they have access to areas where there's documentation and computers, you know.
Right.
But no one's doing the monitoring part. They're only doing the initial check and maybe a yearly check at the most. And a lot of times that doesn't even happen. So, no, I think what you have is a great idea. And if you can get it out there in front of everybody quickly before someone instills it from you, it's probably a cash cow, you know?
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you're going to send me an outline, and then I'll look at those white papers and create something that I feel, and then we'll kind of, once we get the white paper hammered out, then we'll worry about who we could get it to and who we could entice business from, correct?
Exactly, exactly.
All right, well, I apologize. That was my error, doing white pages instead of white paper.
If that's the worst that happens today, we'll be just fine, right?
Good, good. All right, so I'll look for your little outline, and I'll follow some of the white papers that I see online there, and we'll take it from there. And I hope you're happy it was a quick call, so you can move on with your day.
Yeah, and if you're, you know, if you get to the point where you want to pull your hair out, don't let me know. We'll sit down and we'll come up with a custom proposal for you to write it for you. All right?
Excellent. Thank you.
You got it.
All right. Bye-bye.